to hip kicks.
Boom.
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 I'm like, oh, I got to type in the chat real quick. Oh, boom. There we are. Hi, guys.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Finding Your Music Mojo with TC and Dawn. This week, we're joined by Katie of Vintage and Vinyl, as we always are when we are here to talk Record Store Day. And that is what we are here to talk about. Katie, welcome. Thank you for coming on.
Welcome. Oh, I'm thrilled to be a part of this. Thanks, guys, for having me. This will be a lot of fun. I'm super excited about Record Store Day this year.
Yeah, baby.
Good. Record Store Day is this coming Saturday. It's a week earlier than usual this year. And some of the record stores are having hair pulling fits because they're so soon. But there are quite a few good titles. Unfortunately, some of them are pricey, as always.
As always, that's not new.
I can't even look at the prices sometimes, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I've not really looked at all the prices yet this year because I don't want to give myself sticker shock, and I have a limited budget this year. So, and in past years where I picked up, 9, 10, 11 titles, I'm probably only going to do 5 or 6. So,
and that's hard
crazy.
because this is a super good list this year.
Yeah, of course, it's not hurt by me because 2 of the 4 picks that are my, get out of the way or get injured, I want these so bad, are regionals, and I'm going to have trouble finding them. So we'll see.
I've got a couple of regional releases on mine if it makes you feel better. I don't know about
The problem is they never ever say where the regions are. They just say they're only limited. They never tell us what region they're limited to. I've been lucky. I got quite a few of them over the years, so we'll see.
Yeah, this is the regional release I've ever wanted, but I don't know where the region is. Like you said, that's kind of crazy. They need to be more specific.
They still may end up getting 1 or 2 in local places. I know that's the way it was with the Mr. Bigs, which were both regional, but they were all over the place because people all over the country were showing them. So,
you need some clarity here. Did you say, Laura just popped in the chat and said, did you say you have an unlimited budget, TC?
No, I said I have a limited budget this year.
We're bringing the dollars. Here we go. Yeah.
Take my money. I want all the records.
Take my money.
Yeah, I wish. Although I have no room for all the records.
No, you don't.
No,
I don't even have room for all your records, Dawn. So it's going to be...
I know.
As much as I'd love to take those off your hands.
There's a smidgen of guilt there that I've done that to you, but yes, I know. I understand.
I've completely filled my record racks up in my spare room. Like I could probably get maybe 3 more records into these bins, but I have no room for any more like vinyl, so I'm going to have to get a 3rd bin.
Uh-oh. Yeah. You're getting as bad as me, Katie. I mean, I'm running out of room for 45, so it's crazy. I still have some album room, but 45s I'm that gone on.
See, I'm good on 45s, but not good on 33.
You can always here, I'll send you this, TC.
That was TC for
You need one of these, honey.
I'll pass on. Thank you. I know what those things do to 45s. No.
They're not pretty. It's not pretty. Yeah.
Michael says he went to Target yesterday and they had 0 CDs and only 1 Beach Boys album and 2 Taylor Swift albums, getting rid of their physical media there. Yeah, a lot of the Targets are phasing physical media out. Retail Archaeology had a story about that a couple months ago where both they and even some Best Buys and some Walmarts are doing the same thing. So
wow.
Best Buy here by us is completely wiped out of physical media. They haven't had any DVDs or box sets of anything in probably about a year, and that they had records for a while, and now they have none. So and our Target is stocked full of records. So I think that must be so popular at our Target.
Yeah, our Target, the one I go to, they're just so poorly stored that
Yes.
I worry about them being in any good shape if I were to ever buy one there. So,
and people come through the Target, at least ours, and they just do not have respect for the vinyl because it is everywhere, and I can't expect the employees to have the time to go fix it every 5 minutes. But it looks like you just came through it, like rifled through it, and I'm like, no,
they're animals, I tell you. People are animals when it comes to that kind of thing. Respect the vinyl, people. Come on.
Yes.
No, Laura, Don and Mary have not told me where the super secret storage unit is, other than I know it's in your area.
There you go.
But that's okay. So let's get started. Record Store Day is 6 days away as we talk. Katie, what time are you going to go get in line on Saturday?
That's a great question. I was just thinking about this today, and there's so many good things on the list this year that it might be 3 a.m. for me. I might, but there's a part of I know. There's a part of me though that's like, okay, there's a Taylor Swift coming out, so at least 4 of those people in the front of the line are going to be there for the Taylor Swift.
Swifties, yep, Swifties are always there like the night before.
In huge numbers for Record Store Day. It's crazy. So I'm like, well, okay, if I get up at 3 and I'm like there by 3:30, where will I be in the line? And I don't know, but people do camp out overnight here. So I'm not going to do that. I would never do that. But I think that 3 a.m. might be my magic number.
It's my magic number, but I don't want to be out waiting in line for records for that. Yeah, I understand. Where's my magic number?
I don't do it. I go mail order all the way usually. I may make an exception this year if I get a little bird tells me that these two hard to find ones are somewhere in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
I might go, but other than that, I'll take my chances on Sunday morning. We'll see what happens. All right. I have 4 must-have that I'm probably only going to get 2 of. So let me pull up the screen. This is going to be, we'll move everybody to the left.
While you do that, I'm going to say hi to a few people in the chat.
Yeah.
You don't mind? So you said hi to Laura. You said hi to Michael, Angry Otter. My wife is here. Hello, darling. How are you?
Hey, Mary.
Mr. Murphy is here. Yeah, I know. Physical media? Who needs it, right? I tell you. Hey, Chris Shook's here. Hello, dear. How are you? And let's see. What else do we get? That's it. Everybody else is accounted for.
All right.
Okay, thank you for that interruption.
Patrick, we did not give you permission to do that.
It might be that way. You never know.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Okay, so my top picks this year, I mean, they've added a bunch of stuff to the list too since I went through it last, so I haven't actually seen stuff all the way through, so there may be more, but the 4 that I have on my must-have list are Astrud Gilberto, the girl from Ipanema. I love this, but there it is. Limited run regional focus.
I just put the list in the chat too for everybody.
Now, I do know Spin Me Round got some of those in, so I'm crossing my fingers that they'll
might have a chance.
Paul Hardcastle, who I am a huge fan of and always have been. This is the first Chrysalis album that has 19 on it, plus it has the remix of King Tut and Rainforest, which came out in about a year before 19. And third is, I think this is going to be difficult because everybody wants this.
That's a good
Every single list I have watched on the vinyl community has the Neverending Story soundtrack on their list. This is going to be a bitch. There's only 2,000 of them, and it is an exclusive, so there's not going to be another run of this Starlight vinyl. So
I hope you get it.
I have the OG, so I won't be terribly crushed if I don't get it.
Right.
But I really want this because it's one of my favorite soundtracks. And the other one, another regional one, is the Top Secret With Val Kilmer passing away last week, this is going to
That'll be
be
hot. That'll
a
be
hot
hard
one,
to
and
get.
it's going to be hard to get. So
Yeah.
I may not end up getting, of these, I think the most likely could be the Paul Hardcastle, because there's no number of how many there are on this, I noticed, so they may have changed it, but it's exclusive, and I don't think that many people are going to be after it. The same with Astrud Gilberto, hopefully, but the two soundtracks, I'm not like crossing my fingers, but not going to be terribly ravaged if I don't get them.
Yep.
Katie, let's start with your list. You have Patsy Cline on yours.
I do. I
And this
don't
is an
know.
RSD first, so that's a good thing, sort of. Although it's not a collector, there'll be another chance later.
But it may not be on a cool color variant or numbered or
Yeah,
anything. But I think this
exactly.
was a cool record. I mean, a lot of stuff that hasn't been released before, and there's a ton of soundtracks on soundtracks. What am I saying? You just said soundtracks. There's a ton of song titles on this particular record. So I think this will be really great. I'd love to get this.
Yeah, like you said, although the vinyl variant might be different, there will be another chance down the road probably if you miss out on that one. Second one, the Rembrandts. This is I think this was their second album, if I'm not mistaken. The one that has.
I'll be there for you on it.
Yeah.
This was only on CD, I think, before this. So finally it's getting a vinyl pressing, which is exciting. And of course, huge Friends fan. So of course I'm a fan of Rembrandts. So I gotta have this. This would be get out of the way. I need this record.
Yeah, the 1400, that seems kind of low, but again, it's an RSD first. So maybe 2 weeks later or something, they'll come out with a black vinyl version.
And it's on Omnivore, I think. So it should sound pretty good.
Yeah. Queen Delaine Leah Demos.
I'm excited about this. Early demos never been released before. I mean, I've not heard any of this particular track list. I think this is early 70s stuff. Should be really cool. But I think the run on this is also very limited. I can't. Oh, 5,000. Well, not
5,000 isn't too bad.
No, that's not too bad. I've got a couple of others that are really low runs. But I mean, I think this is going to be popular. The Queen fans will come out in numbers for this.
They certainly will.
And it might be a little less expensive because it's considered a 12-inch single. Yeah. Because there's only 5 tracks on it. But that didn't stop them from charging $32 for Donna Summer's State of Independence last year.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, that doesn't mean anything.
This could be $35,
Yeah.
But, that's a must-have.
Next up is one we both are interested in. This is Jazz Impressions of a Boy Named Charlie Brown from the Vince Guaraldi Trio. It is an exclusive, 3,000 copies. A lot of alternate takes, as you can see there, from the music from the various Peanuts specials. Love Vince Guaraldi's music, and I know you do too.
I do. I absolutely love it. I was raised on, of course, Peanuts. My grandfather loved Snoopy, so I just grew up around that, and it's so sentimental to me. And of course, I think he's an excellent musician and all the things that he writes. So this is phenomenal. I'm really excited to get this, but I don't know if I will. We'll see.
Well, if you're out there at 3 in the morning, you might just.
I might just at 3 in the morning. You're right. It would be worth getting up early for this record.
Yeah, pressed on Sky Blue. It is exclusive for Record Store Day 2025. 3,000 copies from Kraft Recordings, who this recording is going to be good because they're always good.
Anything from Kraft is excellent. I've not had
their mail order sucks, but the company itself is awesome.
Yes.
Elton John live from the Rainbow Theater. This has 5,000 available on Record Store Day, and it is an RSD first. And I'm sorry, I don't know who Ray Cooper is.
I wasn't super familiar with him either, so I had to do a little bit of Googling, but I am a huge fan of Elton John, so this I probably will pick up if I can get it at a decent price. It's a live album, and in the past I've not had super good luck with live albums on Record Store Day sounding good, that is, so I am a little hesitant, but I think that this will be good. It's Elton John. They can't mess it up too much.
Don't say that too loud, though.
Yeah, no
That's
kidding.
Fingers crossed for you, sweetie. But yeah, I understand that.
Always a Blue Note. All the jazz
All
people
the
are going to
jazz
be going for the Blue Note
Yeah.
stuff. 2,500 copies, an RSD release, and it features Alts and Outs, features Cannonball Adderley, Grant Green, Wayne Shorter, Art Blakey, Jimmy Smith, and Sonny Clark. This is going to be a toughie, Katie.
This one's probably the hardest one to get that's on my list. And this was just recently added because I did not see this on the list when I initially looked. So as of yesterday, I noticed it on there. So I don't know when they added it, but I think this is going to be picked up very heavily by jazz fans.
Well, they did say a couple weeks ago that they had added like 20 titles to the list, so I haven't been through it again, and I need to do that. Finally, on the list you have as your must-haves is the Count Basie. Again, this is a limited run with 1,000, but it is from Rhino. That makes me think maybe might get another release down the road, but the roulette years, that sounds like it's going to be top notch.
It does, but this is a regional focus, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this in my area or not, but it's high on my list. And all the record store day videos I've been watching, people talking about the things that they're interested in. This has also been on a lot of jazz lists.
Yeah.
Is this one too? I was like, oh, there's other people that want it. There's so many good jazz titles coming out this record store day, though. So I had to limit. I had to pick just a few.
They're finally catering more to. I mean, jazz is always well represented, but there's a lot less picture discs this year. They seemed to flood last year with picture discs.
They did. I counted that there was only 8 picture discs on the list total as of this morning. So I was like, yay, they're finally listening to fans. Because I think so many people were tired of getting the repress of, Fleetwood Mac Rumors on picture discs that nobody asked for because there's a bunch of them sitting in every bin and every record store everywhere. So
pretty much.
I'm glad that they're finally, cutting back on that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, there'll be a 50th anniversary, like four album set of Rumors in the year or two anyway. So
sure.
76, late 76 is what it came out. So it should be, I know they're planning something for it. I haven't heard exactly what, but it'll be out there.
Well, the bluey one is a picture disc.
Oh, the bluey. The Bluey's following you, TC. You gotta get the Bluey record.
Because I know you're interested in that one, TC, for sure.
Well, I'm interested in it because Professor Carlson's going to want it for his grandkids. They love the first one. Burger Dog picture disc exclusive, 2,000 copies. Hey, if that's what you're into, go for it.
I know.
Bluey seems to be selling better than Peppa Pig did.
Oh, Peppa Pig sat in the bins. That was terrible. But I can see it being a really great way in getting kids into vinyl. But the other thing is it seems so silly at the same time for me. I understand the concept.
Yeah. It's a lot of money for something that a child is going to trash, probably.
Yes, or scratch.
They don't know how to take care of vinyl. So that's
yeah.
Well, the good thing is that, like with Professor Carlson, he keeps it. Aiden and his grandson and eventually his granddaughter come up and he plays it for them, so they don't actually be touching it, and it will probably stay in excellent shape.
That's smart.
That's true. Yeah, if you actually show, here's how to put it on the turntable, and here's the needle, and let's drop that carefully, then maybe. But if you just let kids go haywire, kids will be kids.
Yeah, I know. I was.
Yeah.
For sure.
There's another Vince Guaraldi on the list that we both talked about TC possibly wanting, but then we realized that it was Easter egg shaped, which I'm not sure how I feel about that. I have a Christmas tree shaped Elvis Presley record that someone actually sent me, and it's cool, but it's hard to store because it's an odd shape. It doesn't come in a regular jacket, and I just don't know what to do with it. So I'm not sure, why they had to go do
it on the wall.
No, yeah, there you go. For Christmas,
there's a hole in the middle you can hang it from.
Yep.
There you go. That would be what I would do. It comes
There's
in one of those colors.
Yeah, so you
5
I guess
festive colors.
try to
Okay.
collect the colors, or because it will be random, I guess, what stores
Yeah.
get what colors.
Yeah, Spin Me Round says it's random, and you won't be able to tell what it is until you open it. So,
I wonder if
another.
they pressed an equal amount of each of the colors, or if one of them's going to be purposely harder to find. So then it will be higher aftermarket.
That's crazy. That's evil, but crazy. Yeah, I know, right? You'd have to like go on eBay then and find your color or
Yes.
all the colors. Yeah.
And the full soundtrack, if I'm not mistaken, did just come out a couple months ago. On a 12-inch album.
Yes.
This is just
Mhm.
selections from the original soundtrack, so it's not even the whole thing.
Yeah, so I'd
So-
rather have the full album if I can
Yeah,
get it.
me too.
Yeah.
No singles this year though from the Peanuts. They usually have a Peanuts single, and they haven't got one this year. So
No,
at least
I
not
don't
that I've
think-
noticed.
Maybe they just weren't selling well.
That
Yeah,
might be
I
it.
don't know. Maybe that could be it. Yeah. I'm just trying to see what else we've got here that might have popped in that I didn't see before. I like, wow, okay. There's a lot of titles that I would not normally think would
Mhm.
be. Well, of course, you have your prerequisite Grateful Dead box set. This is
Yeah.
every year. There's one.
Always.
5,500 copies, so
Wow.
that'll do well. They'll have enough of that.
The
And
Deadheads will come out in numbers.
and as we said earlier, let's get that up here so we can talk about the effect she's had on Record Store Day. For those of you who have been looking, here is Taylor's Fortnite
Yep.
featuring Post Malone. Notice they do not give a total on the number
No.
of singles out there.
Yeah.
And it will not be enough because people
No,
will be clamoring
it won't
to get
be.
this record.
So Taylor with Post Malone, 7-inch single, probably retailing for $14 or $15.99 if they keep with the 7 inches that way, and they'll sell out. They have
Yeah.
sold out of every single title that she's put out for Record Store Day.
It's not even colored vinyl, mind you. It's just
White.
right.
It's
Just
white
white.
Oh,
vinyl.
it's white
Oh,
vinyl.
white.
Okay.
Okay. Well, last year I thought it was really interesting. Taylor Swift, she didn't have an official release for Record Store Day, but her album did come out on Record Store Day separately with hand signed notes. So I think it's interesting that now she's got something for Record Store. I don't know why there was this disconnect, why she wasn't part of Record Store Day last year, and now here she is, because I think the year before last, she was Record Store Day ambassador.
Yes, she was. I think the one that you're mentioning that came out the day before Record Store
Oh,
Day.
the day before.
On Friday, yeah.
Mhm.
And then she did some sort of Black Friday thing too, both last
Yeah.
year. I don't remember what, but yeah. But she
I thought that was
definitely knows that'll pull in the business for the record stores.
She's pretty savvy business wise for sure, as far as marketing and things.
Yeah.
She knows what
She
she's doing. She definitely does.
The other thing that there's several things on my might get list that I have here, but one of the ones I thought was really interesting, and maybe it's just because I like the guy, but I'd never heard him do something like this. His Post Malone has a or did have, where is it? M. Oh, maybe they have P instead of M like they do everybody else.
There's a search. Are you?
Yeah.
You go to the top and search it too.
Yeah, he's doing a tribute to Nirvana.
Oh, yeah, that ought to be interesting.
And I mean, there's 14 songs, Nirvana songs on here, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I found it. That's amazing.
That's
Has
different.
another artist done something similar to this before? I have no idea if.
17,000 quantity. There'll be plenty of those out there.
Yeah, they know that that's going to sell, and they know that people will purchase it. So that's that. I would be interested again because I'm not. I like Post Malone. I'm not an overly huge fan, but I do have a couple of the singles, and but this intrigues me just because I'd like to see what he does with this music because Nirvana fans are notorious for being very protective of Kurt's music, and if they don't like what he did, there's going to be a backlash. But I can't see that happening since these are all like he's done them in live shows for a couple of years. So
Mm-hmm.
That would be
I don't
very
know.
cool to get that record.
There's 10-inchers are kind of interesting this time too. Like Wang
Mhm.
Chung has a 10-inch. Everybody have fun tonight.
Yeah,
Orange vinyl of all things, and there's only like 1,500 of them.
Oh, that is small.
That is a small run. Yeah.
yeah,
Very small run.
yeah. 10 inches are in this year. This is not the only one that's out for.
There's quite a few of them. Yeah, like you said on the list, I noticed.
And maybe
Yeah.
that's their. Maybe they got tired of selling the 3-inch things with the little
Those,
phonograph
yeah.
and decided
Yeah.
to go back to the 10-inch ones. But yeah, that's
Hey, Christine,
okay.
I got some people popping in. Jenny Blaylock is here, and
Yes, and Michael, that wasn't Linus, that was Schroeder.
that was
Yeah.
wrong one. You got the wrong one, my friend.
But good try, valiant effort.
Yep,
You're in the neighborhood.
your heart's in the right place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
I
I
think
heard that Snoopy did not do his own stunts either. The
No.
dancing. That was somebody else. It's Kevin Bacon, actually.
I think the Killers and Bruce Springsteen will be an interesting record too.
Yeah,
Oh.
that one's gotten some good attention. For especially if you're a Springsteen fan. Let me see. I bet that's under Killers because they're billed first. Yep. It had. I don't know why. I just have a really hard time picturing them together.
Well, it is hard because their music is
Because-
so different.
Yeah, and of course, again, they'll probably get a pretty penny, even though there's only 3 songs on this single.
That will probably be near $28-30 for that, probably.
Probably,
Yep,
yeah.
and 5,000 copies, so there's a good chance that you're going to have a shot at it at least, unlike some of the ones I have on my list. So that's good. I didn't check to see what the most produced one this year is. That there's usually one that is
Got
so
a
far
crazy
over.
number.
Can we sort this list or not? Yes, we can. The Post Malone is the most out there,
Wow.
followed
Yep.
by A Night at the Symphony Hollywood Bowl by Lauve, who is really hot right now, and Rage Against the Machine live on tour in 1993 with 15,000.
Yep.
Wow, that's a good number.
And
Well,
Taylor's not coming anywhere near that, which is really kind of crazy.
And if
That-
you reverse search that, look at the ones that don't have any quantity listed. There are a lot.
Quite a few, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if these were added recent. Oh, that live from the Bluebird Cafe is interesting to me. I just saw that go by. I've been to the Bluebird, and I've never seen anything specifically. I'm sure there has been, and I've just missed it. But for Record Store Day, seeing something come live from the Bluebird, I thought was very cool. And I know Marcus King is popular at the moment.
Looks like it's on really nice. That's a blue vinyl. That's really pretty.
Yeah, that
yeah, and I
does
think
look
it
nice.
comes with a poster, which is cool too.
Yeah, that's very cool.
I wonder if they're holding out on the number of those because they don't know yet.
That
Oh,
could
yeah.
be.
Very possible.
Because of pressing issues or whatever. Because I know that spinning round, I've been watching their videos. They've already got some Taylor and some Wallows in, and they don't have any numbers on these yet. So
Interesting.
that's interesting.
It could totally be something with the pressing. And I think the Bluebird, I didn't see that initially when I looked through the list. So either I missed it or it's something that they added. And now, they're trying to scramble to get pressing numbers.
Let me check this as far as the. There's not some. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 10 inches that we saw there. The Wang Chung, Olivia Dean, A Day to Remember, and Royal Otis. So that's pretty crazy. And just 2 picture discs this year.
no.
Because everybody wants a picture disc of "We Built This City" by Stars.
I saw that. I was like, I have the original on vinyl. I would not
Yeah.
want that, but then also a picture disc. Like, why? Who asked for
I've
that?
got,
Nobody.
yeah, the picture disc I see 1, 2, 3, yeah, 3 of 4 of them, right? So yeah, the Fleetwood Mac is in there.
Yeah,
Is it? Okay.
I counted 8 when I looked earlier. 8 picture discs, but then
Yeah,
I counted that there was over 47 live albums.
I think it depends on how they put that. They entered the information in that field because some are showing up
Yeah.
and some aren't. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I think they have it in. They don't have it in all of them. The other one that I thought was interesting, the title. Let me find the title here. That Don, I'm going to ask you about because you are the one that has had to deal with. Refresh that. You're the one that has to deal with sending 10-inchers out in the mail, having
mm-hmm.
dealt with the shellac and stuff. There
Yeah.
is a collection coming out, and let me see if I can find it. I can't remember the title of it, of course. So, oh, wait a minute. Yes, I can. Treasures. Okay, so it's under various artists.
Okay.
Treasures Untold, a modern 78 RPM reader. This has
cool.
some classic stuff from
Okay.
the first, let's see, collectors ranging in age from 14 to 87 wrote the notes for this. And these
Oh
are
wow.
classic. This is a CD also, it says here, featuring contemporary artists performing songs from the 78's era. Now, what do you think
Wow.
of? Would that work for the collectors of those? Do they want to hear modern interpretations of that stuff?
I guess to each their own. I think it'd be interesting. It depends on who's doing them. Let me look at the artist here a second.
I don't know any of these artists. I'll be totally
I don't
honest. I don't
either.
know any of them. Katie, what about you? Can you see
I'm
those?
looking. I'm reading
I'm
down
like,
the list.
yeah, I don't recognize the artist. You're
Any
right.
of these. So I mean, if it's coming from 78, I don't even have a way to play 78 here, so I don't usually pick them up.
But yeah, this one, the one I'm pulling up was a CD, right? CD
Yeah,
with
this is a
what?
CD that's a CD with old style music from modern artists on it. Record Store Day, CD and book combo.
I'd be interested in hearing it, but as far as the popularity of it, or possibly, you never know. I know older music is making a comeback because you have a lot of people doing
Great.
TikToks with they're playing old songs to listen to the lyrics and go, oh my god, what are they saying? But yeah,
I mean, some of these are familiar. I mean, nobody knows the trouble I've seen.
yeah.
They've done
Yeah.
that. They've done that a few times, and
I know the titles, I just don't recognize the
The
singers.
artists, yeah.
yeah,
So that's
I guess I'd have to
but
look
those are
them
some
up.
classic titles. I just think
Yeah.
this is an interesting idea. I'd
It
love
is
to
an
see how well it does.
and the fact that it's on CD to me is super interesting, and I'm starting to wonder if CDs are going to have their moment again, because I've noticed a few CDs on the list this year, and I wonder if they're slowly starting to filter back in, and that people are interested in that type of media.
I
They
believe
had
you will find that they are.
They usually have 2 or 3 every year, but there seems to be more than that this year. The Wallows are doing both vinyl and CD.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Charlie XEX was doing both, but she's
I think
not. She's got it.
I thought he was doing both.
Oops, I lost my page.
David Bowie has a CD too, I think.
Yeah, I think I saw that. Yep, David Bowie has the 2 LP or the CD version. So some of them are doing that.
So yeah, again, people want music that they can't get in find streaming or whatever, right? You can't get some of these artists, some of these versions, some of these like B-sides or whatever. You can't get that in streaming. You can't get the hidden tapes or something, discovered tapes, things like that they're not out there. So yeah, they're going to be buying CDs, and actually the CD market has picked up quite a bit because people can find that they're looking for an artist or something and they just can't find it in streaming. and they
The
want to.
other thing that I think is cool with this list that I've noticed from previous years, which I'm excited about, is just like you said, Dawn, there's more the exclusive bonus unreleased music on a lot of these tracks. I feel like than years past. Not that they haven't had it, but I think they're really tuning into more of what the fans want and what Record Store Day was meant to be all along, which is curating some really cool, rare, and unusual things for people that really are nerdy about music.
Yep. So, Patrick, this is your chance. Write to Record Store Day. They have a form you can fill out on the Record Store Day website where you can request Transformers the Movie's soundtrack on vinyl. You can even suggest colored vinyl if you want to.
Yeah, this is your shot, buddy. Go crazy.
I'm sorry, Katie. That's a running joke between Dawn and Patrick and I. We've had this going on for a year at least.
Or more. Yeah, possibly more. Possibly more.
Yeah. All right. Let's. I'm gonna take this off for right now. Katie, what's gonna be your top price for an individual that you're willing to pay this year?
I think it really depends for me on what the format is. So if it's, 2 LP set with a really cool gatefold and a poster, I'd be willing to pay, 40 something, 45.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my top. But if it's going to be, a single 12 inch, I'm just not willing to spend, 35 to $45. I think that's crazy. So it just really does depend what it is. But I think that there are a few records that I'd be so interested in getting, especially the exclusives, that I would be fine paying a little bit more. But I was looking at some of the jazz titles, and there's a Bill Evans 2 LP set, $56.99. No, not happening.
Yeah.
But you're going to be out there at 3 a.m.
That's it. I know. No, true.
I have noticed something else too, Katie, that you'll be glad about. As Spin Me Round has pulled in and sorted through their Record Store Day, a lot of the exclusives are numbered this year.
Yay! I'm so
which
happy.
They stopped doing for a while, and a lot of them are hand numbered. So I find that really interesting because they seem to shy away from that the last couple of years.
They did, and that I thought was a shame because so much of Record Store Day is, yes, it's about celebrating the record stores and getting together with people that love music and hanging out and chatting in the line and all the fun stuff that goes along with it. But it is also about collecting music and collectors wanting that kind of rare, really cool, exclusive thing, and having the numbers just makes it. It's like, oh, I've got, copy 100 out of the 1,000 of these that they released.
Yeah.
So cool.
Exactly.
And
that was great.
They're putting more color variants, which I think is also something that people want. I mean, for me anyway, I think it's just that little extra cherry on top of the exclusive vinyl that you're getting.
Yeah.
And nowadays the quality is there where you don't have to worry about the colored vinyl sounding like crap.
Right.
They actually
exactly. Yeah.
It's not a 45 from 1948,
Yeah, I think one thing that I think everybody will be glad about in a week or two is all of these were already made and already shipped to the U.S. And I was going to do a report on this past weekend's Kirkham report, but I'm holding it till this weekend. I read a couple of stories on reports on the current tariffs that were announced last week could cost the vinyl community quite a bit in the next, if they go up, because the major manufacturing plants are in Canada, Germany, and the Czech Republic. And that's probably going to drive prices up, they think, by as much as 30 to 40% per album. So we're talking about from 30 to 38 to 42 for a single album. And that's just nuts.
Yeah, people, the vinyl is going to, the community at large will suffer because the people are not going to pay that for vinyl. It's already expensive as it is.
Yeah, it is. It's gotten a little bit crazy, but at least they have tried over the last year to try and tamp down some of the prices on the reissues, I've noticed, unless they're super special ones.
Mhm.
Some of them have been most of them have been coming out at a between $25 and $30 price point, which is pretty good,
Yeah, that's
considering.
reasonable.
But yeah, some of the I just dread what might happen when they start releasing new stuff that's been manufactured and out of the country, and it's going to cost a fortune to pick up those albums.
Yeah, it's gonna make music less accessible, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
Truly. But then again, you can always go bin digging and,
Yes, support
yeah.
your local stores.
Yep. And even
And
Discogs at some point, local sellers or independent sellers, resellers, or whatever you want to call them. A lot of them are collectors themselves, so they try to, you know, have some decent quality there for you. So you gotta,
Yeah,
yeah, and
Discount is a great resource.
you actually do bin digging on Record Store Day anyway, most of the time, don't you, Katie? In addition to what you pick up.
Oh yeah, always. I always do the bin digging because most of our local record stores will have a sale on things that are in the bins. So I usually do Tiger Records. That's my main record store for
Mhm.
RSD, but of course there's several other stores in the area that participate in it as well.
Mhm.
But I usually try to make my round. So after Tiger, I'll try to go to the other ones and just see what's in the bins or on their grail wall and see if I can pick up anything else that I might be interested in too. I found a really good doo-wop record last year just in the bins because doo-wop isn't super popular, but it was a very hard to find record that I was thrilled to get of the Clovers. It was an original press that I picked up for like $12 last year on sale. So
Nice.
see, you can get great stuff in the bins.
Yes,
Don,
you
didn't
can.
you just sell a single by the Clovers recently on one of the Whatnot shows? I think you did.
I think I did. Yeah,
Very good.
it happens.
Yeah.
I don't think I
I
have
think
any.
if you every time she pulls out a doo-wop record, Katie, when
All
she's
the
selling it
time.
on Whatnot, I'm saying Katie's ears are burning. There's
Yep,
something
my
she might
ears
be
are
interested
burning.
in.
I don't think I
do
I think it's sold. I do think it's sold, but maybe not. Anyway, continue. I'm just looking.
um, is there anything that you were hoping that might get a release this year that did not, and you're still hoping it might in future record store days, Katie?
There's a lot. I've talked about this in previous Record Store Day chats, but there are so many good pop punk records from the 90s that I grew up with that I would just love to get a repress. Bowling for Soup, for one. I think they've got songs people actually liked. I think it's their CD. They have one out on blue vinyl that you can pick up, I think, on Amazon, but it's very expensive because it's out of print now. And then there's another one that's all the other tracks on CD, but they don't have it on vinyl. And I'm like, somebody please release this.
For the love of God, put it on vinyl.
Yeah, so Record Store Day could really tap into some of that 90s stuff. When vinyl was going out, CDs were in. There's so much that's not pressed that I think really deserves to get a press.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know that they've been trying to do a few here and there. Like before I got in the vinyl community, I think a couple years before I started collecting again, they released the Multiplication Rock album on in a reissue, and I'm like, man, I wish I'd been in there now because I would have grabbed that. I have
Yeah.
the original, but mine is so. I mean, I got it when I was 10, and it taught me multiplication, so I couldn't. I couldn't have gotten through fourth grade without that album.
That's right.
So,
Schoolhouse Rock, baby.
Yep, Schoolhouse Rock was great.
I would like to see a Carpenter's B-side
Ooh.
vinyl pressing. That would be ideal for me.
mm,
That would be great. Could be in colored vinyl. It doesn't have to be, but it'd be nice if it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, like all the B-sides from their hit singles would be lovely. I would
still,
snap that up. I'd pay $50 for that easy.
yeah,
That
I'd
was
still like them to eventually release Karen's solo album on vinyl, also, which they've never done, along with some of those tracks that have never been released. There's still 9 or 10 tracks that are still in the vault that Richard's never finished, and I'd like to see that come out. And I still want Bad for Good Refugee from 1992 on vinyl. I love that album, and I have the CD, but I'd love it to come out on vinyl too. So
I would also love a rare compilation, and this is a very specific record, and I realize it's not for but speaking of compilations, like you said, all the B-sides from the Carpenters, I would love a rare, it could be a double LP with just doo-wop stuff that's, some of these 45s, these doo-wop 45s, it's crazy. They sell for $4,000 to $8,000 because they're that rare. And if someone could get, I don't know how, but if they could get them and put them onto a album, I would easily, again, like you, Don, I'd pay $50 for that
Easy.
to have some of those.
Easy for sure.
Maybe again, that might be something you want to drop into that record store day suggestion box, Katie, because they've done great jobs with the Sun collections and with the Westbound Sound collections. Maybe something like that would eventually come
Cool.
to where people would get it, because I think it would sell. I mean, there's a lot of 50s and 60s fans out there that would enjoy that kind of music. I know you'd probably have like 10 copies to be passing them out to people. Well,
start a letter writing campaign,
awesome.
Right?
Well,
start
and
a campaign for it.
That kind of music is coming back. Don, you mentioned it earlier in the show, but there's so much of these people discovering, Frankie Valli and all of these other older artists, and they're putting them into their TikTok reels. Some of them are remastered, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but again, purist here. But I still think either way, it's great that people are actually discovering this music and hearing it, because it's just such good stuff.
Agreed, for sure.
Absolutely. I don't know if they can do colored vinyl a different side on each side. It would have to be two separate discs, Patrick. One with Autobot music and the other with Decepticon music. If you're going to do two different colors there.
They might be able to do like a yin and yang kind of thing where half the vinyl is one color and half is
they could.
That would work.
Before.
But yeah.
And Patrick's also referencing Schoolhouse Rock. So
Conjunction,
cool.
junction, what's your function?
We just played that on AM 70s last weekend.
You did.
Hey, Gavin.
Hey. Grady Girl. Hello.
Thank you coming by, Grady. There we go. Anyone open the floor to anything else for Record Store Day that you'd like, Katie?
The other thing that I found was really interesting with some of the titles is in the past, I've noticed that they've had some fluid-filled records, and I did not see a single one of those this year, which I'm kind of glad about, because I just find those to be really different.
Weird.
I'm not sure. Yeah, weird.
Weird. There's a weird.
Those are weird.
I can't not think of, like, remember the wax candy you used to get with like Kool-Aid inside of it? That's that's what they remind me of. And
Like a Gushers. I'm like, what is
why?
They just released one of those on this past Friday of John Bon Jovi's Slippery When Wet. It has clear liquid inside of it. Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense for that album, but also I just wonder sometimes who it's marketed towards, because it's cool to have in your collection, but as far as listening to the record, I can't imagine that being that cool.
I would think that the sound would be terrible on those because the liquid would dampen what you're getting.
And it would slosh and create other background noise that would pick up in the needle. I'm not sure about that.
Possibly. It depends on how it's done. I mean, if it was vacuum sealed in there, it might not slosh as bad because there wouldn't be any air in there, but it just seems, it's like playing a record player on a waterbed. I don't see how it would, help the sound at all. I don't see how it would help. Yeah. I
also noticed too that there was a ton of live albums this year. Tons of live albums specifically within the jazz titles. And I think that's cool. People seem actually very excited about it from all the videos that I've watched on Record Store Day. But with my previous history on the live albums, I'm of course very hesitant to pick any of them up because I just don't. I'm sure anything done by Kraft will be fine, but again, you don't know.
Yeah, you worry about the sound quality for sure. It's like some guy stood there with a cassette tape recorder and recorded this album.
Yeah,
that's like the typewriter sessions from a couple years ago. The Jorgen Harkonnen and Janis Joplin.
Sounds
where
like
you
they were
can hear
across the
him
room.
typing. You can hear him typing in the background.
Yeah.
Even better.
The Chuck Berry that I got for Record Store Day many moons ago, all you could hear is the audience cheering and barely any Chuck Berry. Like he was
Yeah.
10 million years away, you know. And I'm like, okay, this was not worth my $35.
Return this, please.
Yeah, can I get a refund?
I'd really like to return this.
Another thing I thought was really interesting about this year's list is it was amazing to me how much modern current acts are putting out on Record Store Day. I think they're seeing Taylor Swift and the success that she's had. You have albums just on this first page. You have albums by Gracie Abrams, Omar Apollo, which is with Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, Charlie XCX. Later on, you've also got the Wallows, who do something every year. They've been doing that every year for 2 or 3 years. Modern artists are jumping on that bandwagon too.
What I think is cool about that is it brings some of that younger audience that's into that type of music into Record Store Day to where they can get involved and see that there's more than just that on vinyl. And I think it's a good jumpstart into bringing other people into the vinyl community that wouldn't have known that it existed.
Yeah. I got a tip for people. If they are looking at the Gorillaz live at the Apollo, you could actually go find that concert on YouTube if you want to know if you want to get that album or not.
Now, Dawn, that's not in the spirit of Record Store Day.
I'm just saying, if you don't know if you like the music or not, you can go check it out, and then you can get a copy of decently recorded, hopefully, music. There you go.
I was listening to Matt over at Too Many Records talk about that album because he wants it. His parents wouldn't let him go to the concert. So he was like, I was so mad because all my friends went and they wouldn't let me go. And I know they were just trying to protect the 16-year-old from being alone in the city at night. But he's like, I want that record because I didn't get to go to the concert.
It looks like it looks like a good record too.
More to the point, there's something that's always mystified me. How do the Gorillaz, an animated band, perform live? They don't usually show themselves.
They're a real band,
but they don't usually show themselves. It's all of the videos are animated. Right. All of the other stuff on stage has been animated. I would think that would be like, what? That must be the weirdest experience.
There are real
seeing
people
them live.
There are real people on stage. Go watch the footage. They're real people.
Okay, so that was before they started doing the projections and stuff. Then.
Well, yeah, and at the Apollo, it's a small venue.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, it's not a small venue, but it's not a stadium, right? So.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. They're actually on stage.
I always found that to be just kind of weird. I don't know. Yeah. It's like Archie's never toured. You know, they were animated. We knew who sang for them, but they never toured. So, you know.
Archie's never toured, and that rakes your coals, don't it? Yeah.
Once Record Store Day is out of the way, Katie, what are you going to be doing? You've got plenty of great videos and weekly sales going on your site, do you not?
Yeah.
I do. Every Saturday, I have my costume jewelry sale with my friend Nate in New Zealand, which is exciting. That's at 10 p.m. We have a really fun hangout. And then I do my monthly industrial sale with Vintage Vinny over on his channel. And I will be having soon an apartment tour coming out. If you don't know, I just moved into a 3-bedroom. I've got a whole new record room now for vinyl, which is so exciting. I'm getting another stereo system from my dad. And once I get all that hooked up, I'll have this really swanky room to hang out in. I'll have my main listening set up like in my living room, and then I can come in here and, you know, have a different vibe and experience. So I'm excited for that. But once I get all that together, I'll be doing a video. That will be fun. I may even go live and tour people around that way so that they can comment and ask questions about things. And I do want to have a vinyl collection video come out in the future, but I have so much on vinyl.
I know, me too. I haven't been able to do mine either.
Yeah.
It's springtime. Are you headed to St. Louis again for another vacation?
Oh, I would love to head to St. Louis. I'm actually going to Disney this week, so I'll get a little trip. Not too far away, but far enough away to relax a little bit, and the weather should be good. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't know when I'll return to St. Louis, but that is definitely something that I must do at least once a year because I'm in love with Union Station, and St. Louis is the best vinyl.
And I love watching your
Yeah.
videos every time when they're showing those videos in the lobby.
Yeah.
It's just awesome. Are you doing anything particular at Disney this time?
Well, my friend has some days left on his Disney pass, so that's kind of how all this
Ah.
started. And I said, "Yeah, I'd love to go." And the resident passes, I think, in Florida were like $70, which is the cheapest they've been in a very long time. And the weather was good, and I said, "Yeah, I want to go." So we're going to do Hollywood Studios. I want to do all the Star Wars stuff because I've never done that. I think that would be
Mhm.
cool. And then we'll do Epcot the next day, so it'll just be kind of chill. I think eat around the world, which sounds wonderful. I want to
Nice. Yeah,
France, have all the good pastries. Just
that's a good time.
all day. So that
Yeah.
all sounds really nice. Maybe catch a show or whatever they've got for us. So we don't have anything too hard and fast, but and Hollywood Studios, my favorite ride is always Rock and Roller Coaster. So the Aerosmith stuff will be cool.
How are you feeling about the fact that they're changing that coaster over? It's going to be a Muppets themed ride when they get done.
Yeah, I'm not too excited about that. I know Disney changes stuff and they have to stay relevant and to keep up with licensing or whatever, how all that works, I don't know. But that just is like, I like the Muppets fine, but this is, the coaster that I've always loved, and Aerosmith is so cool. So it's like, man.
I know that's it. It just seems weird that they're doing that. Dawn, normally we would let you run down your schedule, but
my schedule's lightened up quite a bit, hasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, we are in the process of getting ready for a vacation. So we've been doing some downsizing still, but we are going to have our show Tuesday tomorrow, Chick Chat at noon Eastern time. So please come hang out with us there. We will not be doing a show on Thursday.
You will not be doing this tomorrow.
Yeah,
that's
We're
off
not doing
until
that.
That's off until the end of June, correct? Or the end of May.
Actually, in May,
May.
we will be doing a show, I believe. Oh, I don't have the exact date, but it is a Tuesday in May. I think it's the 13th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we'll be coming back and doing that show then, and we're going to do a big blowout. So, Katie, keep your eyes peeled.
I will.
We're going to do dollar starts, and we're going to do $5 pylons through a couple hours of the show. So, and it's going to be quick. It's not going to be play the records like we usually do. It's just going to be, this is play graded. It's VG plus. It's $1. 15 seconds. So, we're trying to clear out as much as we can because we want to make room for more stuff. I have to get rid of some stuff in order to bring in more stuff. You know how that is.
Yes.
And then, especially from the storage unit. So we're doing that. We're going to go on vacation at the end of this month. Yeah, this month we're going on vacation, and you'll have to stay tuned to find out where we're going. But we're definitely going on vacation, and just fun stuff like that. So yeah, we're kind of laying back on the whatnot for right now, but we are still doing Chick Chat. We will not be doing the show Thursday though because Momster is relocating to Muskegon, so I'm going to help her move there. So Thursday's show will not happen, but the following week we'll have our regulars. We'll be back to our regular Tuesday, Thursday. Estate sale bingo is Thursday. That's why everybody. And TC, didn't you win?
I did last week.
So you got bragging rights for 2 weeks now.
Huh? Oh yeah, because I get that. That's right, because it's not on this week. So
this week you've got an extra week of bragging. Go, buddy, go. So yeah, we'll be back to our regular scheduled programming after our vacation, basically.
Yep. Yeah, Mary says that's a 17th, and it's a Saturday, not a Tuesday.
Oh, it is. It's not a. Oh, that's right. I was looking at a Tuesday. It's the 17th. Blowout sale. Now I could see it. Thank you, dear. I appreciate my wife. We have but one brain cell, and we share it today. She has it. There you go. 17th. It's a 7 p.m. blowout sale. Please be there because it'll be a lot of fun. Saturday night.
And you guys know what you can find from me. I have Daily Obscuria Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Some great weekly shows also, some of which are taking a little time off right now as I get things reorganized after my crash in December is slowly coming back together. But we do have Saturday night disco party every Saturday at 11 and Sunday night AM 70s, Sundays at 8. And I'm live on that on the first Sunday of the month, usually with chat and stuff like I was last night. Definitely come by and see that and everything else. And get to start giving early releases if you're part of the Patreon. So please come over and do that too. Katie,
Definitely.
thank you so much for joining us. Don't disappear after we shut
I
off.
won't disappear.
And
Thrilled to be here.
it's always great to have you on the show. You're welcome back anytime. I still want to have you on to talk about your family's involvement with radio. We've got to do that at some
We
point.
have to do that. And you know what? I just got 2 whole ginormous books. I'll show you after the show of
Okay.
KFVS stuff. My great grandmother, she started a whole project of the history of radio as a whole, and then the involvement of my family in it. And so I have all kinds of incredible stuff from the radio and TV that they had. So I just got that in the mail, and I haven't gone through all of it yet, but it's really a gold mine of cool stuff.
That sounds
Very cool.
awesome. Dawn, you are not going to be on the next show with me, correct? You will
Correct.
be on vacation.
Taking a break.
So in 2 weeks, I will be here with my wonderful wife, Kim, who is stepping in for Dawn. And we will have lots of fun. I'm sure we are. Katie, once again, thank you. We always love having you on the show. And I think we will get out of here. We will see everybody in 2 weeks. Ciao, baby.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
friends.
Thank you.